So today I'm sharing with you a training that I did inside of a Facebook community on the type of moves that you can make in your business to help you quantum leap your success. This training was so powerful and so impactful that I had to share with all of you, whether you're watching on the YouTube channel or you're listening to this on the How It's Really Going podcast. So grab a pen and paper. I can't wait to share this with you. I hope that it inspires you and motivates you just as much as it did the people inside of the community. Now, keep in mind, I did do this inside of a Facebook community. So when you hear things like, let me know in the comments, it's because the original recording was from the community. But again, like I said, it was too good not to share with all of you guys. So here we go. If we are meeting for the first time, hello, everyone. My name is Shana, and I'm an online business coach that specializes in supporting new coaches, building their business, building their offers, and really just getting themselves out there into the online space. That is why I'm here. So this training for me is more of a mindset training. I do a lot of business strategy, a lot of the how-to stuffs with my clients, but I also do a lot of the mindset stuff because, as we know in this group, a lot of the talk that's happening here is strategy, but it's also a lot of mindset. And one of the things that I learned in my journey, which I wish I had learned this sooner, but we learn the things when we learn them, is I did a lot of strategy when I started my online coaching business. And it only got me so far. I got to a point where I got stuck. And I was like, why am I stuck? Why can't I grow this business? And it was because I hadn't done any work on my mindset. I was the thing that was holding me back. And so I learned a lot from that experience once I started really diving into mindset, really diving into the inner work. A lot of the stuff that we're talking about inside the summit, that's when things really started to shift for me. And so today's training that I have for you is part of that. And I'm going to be sharing my own story as we go through this training. Most likely, and let me know in the comments, there was a reason. There was a reason that you signed up for this, right? Like something nudged you from the inside and said, you know what? I could use this. I need this. Let me know in the comments if that was you. I know, Amy, you put this on. So there was obviously a nudge for you to say, I need to do this, right? And even whether you're signing up for a training or you're putting on training, there's something inside of you that says, I need to do this. And I know I feel that. I feel that when I do things like this and when I join trainings or when I say yes to doing trainings and stuff, I'm always like, yes, because what I know is that we are here on this planet to grow and evolve. And so there's something for you in this, right? You felt the nudge. You were like, there's something more for me. There's something more. And that something more is always kind of nudging you to try new things, to do things, to learn more, to grow. We all have so much more growth, so much more impact, so much more things to do, so much more happiness and joy to experience on this planet. That's why we are here. If there's one thing I know for sure, we are on this planet to grow and expand. Expansion is why we're here. And that's why we get the nudges to kind of do these things and things that are out of our comfort zone or things that maybe feel a little bit scary, because our soul is calling us to have that growth, to have that expansion. And let me know if you agree with that. I'm sure that you do, because we're all aligned in this container. Here's the thing. I want you guys to take a moment and I want you to visualize in your mind. And I'm sure because of the type of people who would be in this container, who are in this container, that you all have a bigger goal or a bigger vision for your life, right? Let me know in the comments, if you want to share what that vision is, if you want to share what that goal is, but get that goal in your mind. I want you to see it in your mind if you can. I just want you to get that feeling of that next level for you, that place that you're working to get. I know for me, there's a whole new house in my future. There's a totally, expanded business. I have an art business on the side that I want to expand as well. I have this vision for where I'm going. Do you guys feel that? Do you feel that? And so I want you to get that into your mind and I want you to see it. Now, the reason I want you to get there is because the universe wouldn't plant something in your mind. You wouldn't be able to envision something like you're envisioning right now if it weren't possible for you. If you weren't the type of person, if you didn't have the capabilities to make it happen, it wouldn't give that to you. So the fact that you can see it, the fact that you can feel it, the fact that you know it's there, that is telling you that it's possible for you. It actually already exists on another quantum realm. I'm not going to go into that right now, but that if you can see it and you can feel it, it already exists for you, right? So
what needs to happen is we need to align with that vision, but that's also, it's not just about aligning with the feelings, it's also about aligning our actions in order to receive it, right? Action is what is the last piece before we manifest something, right? We can think about it and visualize it and journal it and, meditate on it all day long, but we actually have to take action in order to receive. And so that's what I'm going to be talking about today. That's what this training is about today. I'm going to share with you 4 quantum moves that are going to help you move you to that vision faster, right? That we're going to be taking some big actions. And this training might make you uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie. It's not always easy to take these big actions, but they are required. They are going to be required to move you to where you want to go. And so I'm going to share them with you guys today. There are 4 quantum moves that are going to help you make that leap from where you are now to where you want to be. And I'm going to share some personal stories along the way. Who's ready? Who's ready for this? I know I am. I love training on this stuff. I love talking about this stuff. Lindsay says, I can feel the vision. Hi, Lindsay. I can see your name. Amy, I can see your name now too. Yes, been doing the do. Yes, the doing is so, so important. That's what we're going to talk about right now. So the first, and I keep looking down because I do have notes, but I usually stray from my notes, so just buckle up. Okay, so the first quantum move that is critical for you to get from where you are to where you want to be is to make a decision. Decision is one of the most powerful things you can do for your life and your business. What do you want? What do you want? You. That is so important. When it comes to, achieving anything in our life, we need an aiming point. We need that place that we are moving towards, right? That vision that you created in your mind, that's like what you're moving towards to create. But you need to make the decision right now that is what you are going to get. Like, it's not even a question, it's a decision. Decision means to cut off other possibilities. You have to decide. Now, the thing with the decision, you have to decide is this thing that you want, is it something that you actually want? You have to have the passion for the thing that you want to achieve. It has to be your goal. It has to be your thing. And here's what happens. A lot of times people have these big visions for their lives, but they're not actually their passions. They're not actually their visions. Sometimes they're their parents' visions for them, right? How many times have you heard the story of, the guy going to medical school to become a doctor, but really he wants to be a guitar player. And halfway through his education, he leaves school and becomes, you know what I mean? Like, there's those stories out there because that person's vision in the beginning wasn't even theirs. It wasn't really what they wanted to do. So when it comes to deciding what you want, you really have to go inwards and ask yourself, what does my heart really want? What do I really want? And here's the thing, it doesn't have to be what everybody else in your industry is achieving, right? I know I'm in the business coaching industry, and there are people who are achieving multiple millions of dollars, people having $1 million months and all of those things. And that's amazing. But that doesn't have to be my desire, right? I don't have to have that kind of goal. Sure. I mean, it would be nice, but do I really want that? Right? Like, these are questions that you need to ask yourself. Do I really want that? Because there's a lot of other stuff that comes with that kind of thing, right? So I really want you to do that work and ask yourself, what is it that you really desire? And then make the decision to go for it. It has to have that inner nudge. Like, you have to have that inner pull. Do you guys feel that when you think about your goal and you think about your business? Is it like, it doesn't even matter what's going on. It's almost like pulling you from the inside. It's like, even if things aren't going great, you're still like waking up every day doing the things because it's you've made this decision for yourself, and it's actually pulling you. You're not having to force it, That's a sign that you're moving in the right direction, right? You don't have to know. I want you to make this decision for what it is you desire, but I don't want you to put all kinds of limitations and logic to it. I want you to just ditch the logic. Like, what do you want? Make the decision for what you want your life and your business to look like. You don't have to know how you're going to get it. You don't have to know how it's all going to unfold. You just have to make the decision. You don't have to logically go, well, I can't really do that. That's probably too much, or I couldn't really live in France because, like, how am I going to get rid of all of that. make the decision for what you desire. And this could take some time. This really can take some time to make the decision for what you want in your business. I have, a lot of times I have made decisions for myself that were decisions that I thought I should make because of the industry that I'm in and from what other people are doing. And then I realized, I was like, well, it just didn't work. Like, it just didn't feel right. And it's because it wasn't really what I wanted, is what I thought I should have because of where I was and what I was doing. Does that resonate with anyone? So I want you to make the decision for what it is that you want in your life, because here's the thing: the universe conspires for those who know where they're going. So once you make that decision for yourself, once you know what it is that you want, what happens is the universe starts to move. It's like giant puzzle pieces. Once you make that decision, this is what I want. This is what I'm going for. This is what I'm making happen. This is what's going to happen in my life. The universe goes, okay, awesome. And it starts to move things around. Now, there's a really good chance you're not going to see any of that stuff going on in your life and your business for a little bit, right? Because it takes some time for the universe to move the right people and move the right, energy and move the right things into your path in order to align with what it is you desire. But you absolutely need to make the decision for what it is you want so it can start to move those pieces around, right? And so you want to make that decision. The universe can't deliver if it doesn't know what you want. Now, a quick story for this. For me, I was, for a while, I spent 10 years or 8 years solid as a network marketing professional. I was in the top of my company. We had I had a 6-figure income in that business. Our particular team did millions in sales every year. It was my life for quite a while. And when I started to do the online coaching, because I had this inner pull to do it, and I was like starting to do it, and I was starting to build my business and my brand, and I was starting to show up as an online coach, I could feel this, like, I don't know, I was doing both things, trying to do both things in my life, and it wasn't feeling right. It wasn't working. And there was this like sort of heaviness of my network marketing business. And the only reason that I really wanted to keep it was because of the income. I didn't really love doing that work anymore. And so for the longest time, I sat in indecision of, should I keep it? Should I back away? What do I do? Like, I was in this like awful indecision place. Does anybody ever know what that feels like? I'm sure you guys do, right? When you're not making a decision on something, and it just, I can actually feel it right now as I talk about it. It's this like awful place where nothing's really happening because you're just sitting there in indecision. Do I want to? I don't know. Do I? Don't I? It's the worst. And once I finally made the decision that I was letting go of that network marketing business and I was prioritizing my coaching business, it was like this heavy coat was just taken off of me. And it felt so good. And I was able to like let go. I cut the ties. I did, what I needed to do to make that business, just not be my priority anymore. And I turned all my attention and focus into my coaching business, and everything changed, right? Yeah. Indecision is the worst. So that's why I say, make a decision. Are there things that you're maybe undecided about in your life and in your business that it's time for you to make that decision? It's time for you to put that line in the sand and say, this is what I'm doing no matter what. Okay. So that's the first one, is to make a decision. Make a decision. And here's the thing, as business owners, we're constantly having to make decisions, right, in our business. So this doesn't just apply for your big goal. Making decisions is that like leaders make decisions quickly. It's like we don't sit in indecision for too long because we know that that's not getting us anywhere. You make a decision and you move. You make another decision, you move, right? Decisions don't just stop at your goal and your vision. There's some stuff that we constantly have to be doing in our business, right? Yeah, Lindsay's saying I've had to let go of clients. Yeah, there's going to be things that you may need to let go of, decisions you need to make to let go of things in order for you to create this vision. So that's part of the decision-making process, right? Now, quantum move number 2, which is my absolute favorite and is probably one of the bigger moves you can make, is to do things that scare you. Do things that come with no guarantees. Do things that come just completely wrapped in uncertainty. Now, why is it so hard for us to do things that are scary? Why is it so hard for us to do things that feel uncertain? Now, the reason why that is the way that it is human nature. The way we are built is we are actually built to look for things that can hurt us, look for things that could literally kill us. Right? Our primal brain, our reptilian brain, that caveman, brain that we still all have in our bodies. There's still pieces of that in our brains. And that instinct is to survive. So when we're faced with doing things that are scary, that part of our brain is like, oh my gosh, this is new, this is different, we could die, literally, right? We don't feel that on the outside, but we feel that fear, right? Does anybody feel that when it comes to doing new things? Absolutely. So our brain wants to go through all of the what ifs. What if this happens? What if that happens? All of these things that are negative. And it's doing that because it doesn't want us to do things that are uncertain. It doesn't want us to move in that direction. Our ego brains love predictability. It wants to know everything that's going on. And that's why we get stuck sometimes in bad habits, because the bad habit is predictable, right? If you have a habit of not meditating every day, or if you have a habit of not going to the gym, the morning you wake up and you're like, I'm going to go to the gym, your brain is going to give you every single reason why you shouldn't go to the gym, because it's not used to going to the gym, and it doesn't like that. It's used to you making the excuse and not going, right? So we have to actually know this. So when it comes to doing scary things, we can outsmart our brains, right? So basically, when you are going to make a new move and it's scary, your brain's going to go through the list of what ifs and all the hard things and all the scary things. And what if, people don't like it, or what if they don't engage, or what if I look stupid, or what ifs, right? All of that list of what ifs. Our job is to recognize awareness. Awareness is so key, that this is happening, that this is what's going on. Now you know what's going on. So now you can't unlearn that. So you have that. Go, oh, I know what's happening. My brain doesn't like this idea because it's new, it's different, it's scary. So then you have to intentionally go through and look at all of the positive what ifs. Okay. So you have to intentionally go in to the scary situation and go, okay, let's look at all of the good things that could happen if I do this, right? If I put on this mastermind, if I put on this summit, if I put on these things, our brain's going to be like, oh, well, what if this happens? And what if that happens? And oh my gosh, I'm sure, Amy, you experience that. I know I experience that every time I create something new. But then you have to go, but what if this thing that I'm creating changes one person's life? What if that happens? What if it changes 10 people's lives? What if it changes 100 people's lives? What if I learn something in this process that completely changes the way I do my business for the better? What if, and list all of the positives. And you're going to have to force yourself to do this, because it's so easy. Don't you guys agree? It's so easy to think of all the negative things, all of the negative things, so many negative things. That's easy. They just roll off your tongue. But we have to intentionally go in and look at all of the positives. We have to look at all the positives, because here's the thing. There is so much magic in uncertainty. I believe there's more magic than there is even things that could go wrong. Now, I'm going to say this, and I want you to hear this, because this is so, so important. Okay. You have skills, talents, and abilities inside of you that you do not even know exist yet, right? You don't even know that you can do things. There's certain things that you think that you can't do. You don't even know you can do them yet, because when you take moves in uncertain, when you take scary moves, or you do things that you have no idea how they're going to turn out, that's when you have to get creative. That's when you have to do things you've never done before. And that's when all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I did that. I can do this. I didn't know I could do that. I can do this now. This is amazing. I learned from this. And then you get to do it again, and you get to do it again. And then you get to hone in on your skills for that, right? So when you step into uncertainty, when you make those scary moves, you actually uncover skills, talents, and abilities within yourself that you didn't even know existed, right? I used to hate public speaking. I used to have to do it in my graphic design career every once in a while. And it would just be like, it was like death for me. And now I'm like, I love this stuff. I love talking with you guys right now. It's like I've learned so much about how to do this and what works and what doesn't work because I stepped into this uncertain place of, oh my gosh, I got to go live and talk to people on a social media thing and I have no idea what I'm doing. And now it's like just second nature for me, right? So we have to step into uncertainty to learn those things about ourselves. Now, here's the thing. This is where you need self-trust. This is where you have to say to yourself, I trust that no matter what happens when I walk into this space, when I walk into this uncertainty, that whatever happens, good or bad, I have faith and trust that I will figure it out, that I will take the lesson or I will take the win and I will use it and I will move forward. And I trust that I can handle it, whatever happens. Like that's the positive self-talk that needs to happen was as you're moving into these uncertain moves. But it's these moves that have no predictability, that are completely uncertain, that are scary. These are the ones that are going to give you the most growth in your business. Doing things you already know how to do got you to where you are. To get where you want to go, it's going to require you to do things you've never done before. It's going to require you to get out of your comfort zone. It's going to require you to, feel that fear and do it anyways. So this is why this quantum move is so important, because this is where most of your growth is going to come from, is doing things you've never done before. And trusting that you can handle whatever comes through to you. When you make these kind of big actions, these big moves in your business, you are sending a powerful message to the universe that says, hey, I'm doing this. I'm serious. I made that decision and now I'm doing these things. I really mean it. I want this thing and I'm willing to do what it takes to make it happen. I'm willing to fight through the fear and do it anyways. And so quantum move number 2 is doing things that's scary. Now, to add to this, I'm also going to say, do it messy. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have everything all figured out. Just do it. I would rather you do it messy and flounder around and flop around and whatever, figure it out as you go, than to sit back and procrastinate imperfection before you actually take a step. Messy action has gotten me so much farther in my business than trying to prepare and be perfect than that ever has. Who can agree with me on that? Now, and I'm sure that you can. Anybody who's taken messy action before, I remember one of my coaches said to me once, she was like, you just need to somersault your way through your business. Like if you just somersault your way through your business, you're going to get so much farther than trying to make everything perfect. And I always think about that whenever I'm trying to do something new. I'm like, Shana, just somersault your way through it. I use the cartwheel emoji a lot because I'm often talking about that messy action, right? Just go through it. So here's the thing. You want to be taking that scary action, but here's the next move. And this one's probably going to be a scary action for a lot of you, is that quantum move number 3 is for you to be you, to be 100% authentically, uniquely you. And this is probably going to be one of the harder moves that you're going to make in order to get where you want to go. Because here we are conditioned to blend in. We are conditioned to do things like everyone else, right? It starts in school. It starts with our parents. It starts in school. Like everybody's doing the same thing, sitting at the desk, doing all things. Like we are conditioned to be the same. And unfortunately, that conditioning, when it comes to showing up in your online business and it's showing up and sharing and saying what you have to say, we can sometimes hold back from being our unique selves because we're afraid to be criticized or we're afraid people will see us. And so oftentimes we try and do things like everybody else because it feels safe. Has anybody felt that in their business? I know I have. And doing things like everybody else is boring. Nobody sees that stuff. People, I believe, quote me on this, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who said this, that I believe that we are moving, and I actually know this in my soul, we are moving to raw, vulnerable, authentic content. People don't want perfection. They don't want everything to be the same. They don't want people trying to be like other people, because that's boring. Been there, done that. Highlight reels are out. Now it's time to be you, be authentic, share your story, share your journey, share what you believe, share what makes you unique. Do it in your way. Say it how you would say it. That is what people are craving, because it gives permission for them to do the same. And I think the industry needs us as leaders to move with this movement of raw, vulnerable, authentic. This is how it's really going. Because we've seen too many highlight reels. And you know what? I don't relate to the highlight reels, because that ain't my life. My life is not perfect. My business is not perfect. There's a lot of ups and downs. And I'm prepared and willing to share my journey, my story, the way that things are really going with my audience. We need to lead this. We need to go first, right? So being unique is building your brand. Like, your brand needs to be, it needs to embody you and your uniqueness. You can't have a successful brand trying to be like somebody else, because you're not being you. There's always going to be resistance. It's never going to feel, it's never going to feel right. There's always going to be something. But trust me, I know how hard it is to kind of get online and grab your phone and, try and say things like you want to say them, because we all get in our head about it. Well, what are people going to think? Well, what if I say that and they don't like it? What if people have something negative to say about it? You know what? They probably will. And we have to be okay with that. That's actually part of the duality of success, is us being able to be out there and be ourselves and have, people respond positively to that. But there's also going to be the duality of the negativity that goes with it. We have to be able to handle that as we grow our businesses, that duality of success. The more unique and the more you put into your brand, the more successful you're going to be, because you have no competition when you show up and you be you. Wear your hair how you want to wear it. Wear your makeup how you want to wear it. Don't wear makeup. Wear the clothes that you want to wear. I remember I had a coach once, and I can't even believe I did this. I had a coach once who was like, if you want to be a millionaire, you need to start dressing like a businesswoman and wear a suit jacket and all this shit. And I went out and bought like 3 suit jackets and started showing up in my content in a flippin' suit jacket. I don't wear suit jackets ever. I wear Lululemon pants and like baggy sweaters, because that's who I am, right? Oh my God, I look back at those videos and I'm like, Shana, we have to find ourselves. Lindsay, I remember those videos. We have to find ourselves, and we need to build a brand around that. Our brand needs to be unique. It needs to be us. It needs to be authentic. It needs to be real. It doesn't mean we're only sharing the crappy stuff. We are sharing the good stuff too, but we're doing it in a unique way for us. I teach all my clients that there's a whole section in my program all about how to be unique and how to be you. What are your beliefs? How do you feel about your industry? What are your thoughts on things? How do you want to show up? How do you want to say that? If you use the word frig, use the word frig in your content. If you swear, I know one of my good friends, Cassie, she swears all the time in her content, but that's who she is, right? Allow yourself to come through. Think about the celebrity entrepreneurs out there that are just like completely crushing. I think of Mel Robbins. She's somebody who shows up, talks about her anxiety, talks about all the things that are going on in her life and business. She's built a brand around being vulnerable, because that's different. People weren't doing that. She's the one who led that charge. I always think of Amazon. Amazon, when he was creating that company in his garage, people laughed at him. You're going to sell books out of your garage? You're going to mail out books to people from your garage? Like, that's crazy, right? But he wanted to do this. This was his thing. It was his vision. He didn't care what other people thought. He did it anyways. And look where that took him. I think of Gary Vee. He believes in hustle culture. He's all about working hard and all those things. That's him. That's his brand. He's not afraid to talk about it. He talks about having multiple streams of income, all the things, right? So whatever makes you unique, showcase that, share that, make that part of your brand. It's funny because I think about my own life and my own business. When I started network marketing, it was something that I really wanted to do. How many people gave me slack for starting that business? How many people said I was crazy? How many people actually stopped talking to me because I started a network marketing business because I was selling skincare products and like that was lame. And, what are you doing? You're crazy for leaving your full-time job for this. You guys, I built a multi-million-dollar business from that. And guess how many people came back and joined my business after I started to become a success, right? I didn't let that negative crap that was going on around me stop me, because this is what I wanted. It was what I wanted to create, and I did it anyways, right? So be you, be unique, make that part of your brand. Don't listen to the naysayers. Just get out there and get going. Now, so I was just going to say, the trick to this quantum move is dealing with the naysayers, keep standing out even when people don't agree. This is why I totally recommend having a coach or mentor in your business, because then you have somebody on your side that can help you, coach you through those moments when you feel like, people are saying these things and, you're in your head about it. You can't always do it on your own. And this is why I always personally have a coach and mentor. I don't know if you guys want to share in the comments. Do you always have a coach or a mentor, somebody who's supporting you in your business? I think that is critical for success, because we can't be trying to deal with all of these things on our own, because our brain sometimes is our own worst enemy. And sometimes we need the support of other people, right? So it's not always easy to do on your own. Okay, quantum move number 4, and this is the last one for today. And this one is also, these are also very powerful. They're all very powerful, but this one is, again, up there in the top. And here's the thing, there are more than 4 quantum moves, but these were the ones that I felt were the most impactful for making the biggest leaps in your business. And number 4 is commitment to your vision. Commitment is the action. So here's the thing, your quantum leap into your dream life doesn't happen without effort. We know that, right? Action is how we receive. So it's the final part of the manifestation. So here's the thing, we have made the decision. We are going to do the work. We are taking scary action. We're going to build our unique place in the market until our goal is achieved. Now, this is where people get tripped up, is because they can do this work. They're like, okay, Shana, I've made the decision. I'm taking the scary moves. I'm being myself in my content. I'm doing the work, but I'm not getting the results. I'm not getting the results. Nobody's commenting on that post. Nobody joined that thing. This is where your commitment comes in. You have to be committed to the vision until it happens, even when it's not working. And I can't tell you enough how powerful it is, the energetic alignment of staying committed to what it is that you said you were going to do when you are looking out in current results and it's not there and it's not happening, and it's actually the opposite of happening. The power of the intention of saying, I'm doing this no matter what, even when no one is watching, even when no one is engaging, even when no one is signing up, even when no one is buying. I'm still committed to what I'm doing, even when there's nobody doing the things that I believe that they're supposed to be doing at this point in my business, right? We've all been in that space where we're not getting the results that we want, and it feels like shit. It hurts. It hurts when you don't get the results that you want. But this is where it's going to require you to stay committed. This is leadership. This is leading yourself first. Is like, I'm going to keep going even though this didn't work. I'm going to try again. I'm going to do it a different way. I'm going to learn from this and do it again. The intention and energy behind that is super powerful. You don't know ever how close you actually are to your goal. You don't actually know. So you could be giving up right before something amazing is going to happen. One of my clients, I'll share this quick story. One of my clients has been sharing on Instagram, and she's been sharing a little bit on TikTok as well. And she's been sharing these reels, doing this talking. And I remember having multiple calls with her, and she's like, Shana, like my Instagram's not growing. I'm not really sure. Like, is this working? I'm like, Debbie, just keep going, keep going, keep going. And she's been resharing her reels over to TikTok. Well, guess what? One of her TikTok reels went viral. She's had over 4 million views on it. She has over 51,000 followers on her TikTok now. And that has actually leaked over into her Instagram. And so now she has an engaged audience of almost all ideal clients over on TikTok of over 50,000 people. And she's about to launch a book this year. Like she's now primed for this like she's going to quantum leap because of that. But not because of that one video, but because she kept going and kept posting and kept doing the thing, even when it seemed like it wasn't working. That's the commitment that I'm asking for here, is that we have to keep going. Who you are when no one is watching is critical for the success of your goals, for the success of your business. Who you are when no one is watching. Who are you in those moments between transactions when no one's buying? That energy are you in an abundance mindset of, hey, you know what? That's okay. I'm going to keep going. If this is going to work, I'm just going to figure it out. We're going to try it again. Or are you in no one's buying. This sucks. I'm just going to, you know what? Why am I even doing this? I should just shut this down. It's not worth it. Right? It's not worth it. Like, are you in that energy? Or are you in the abundance energy? The energy you hold in the void of building your business sends a powerful message again to the universe that you're in this to win this. So you've got to stick to it. You've got to stick to it. 110%. This is where we make this decision. When we make the decision for the vision, we are committed to that decision 110%, even when it's not working, because you don't know when all of a sudden, boom, something's going to change and all of a sudden it's working. And you don't want to quit before that moment. You don't want to quit before that moment. You need to trust in your timing. Trust in the timing. This is probably the hardest thing sometimes that we need to do, is trust in the timing, because we feel like it should have happened by now. We feel like we should all be millionaires by now. But the universe has other plans. The universe sees things that we don't see. There's a reason you're not a millionaire yet if you're not there yet. It's because there's lessons and things that you haven't learned yet that need to be learned in order for you to be able to handle that goal. Like, there's a duality that comes with success. There's good and bad things that come with it. And if you're not prepared for both, you're not going to get it quite yet. You got to get prepared for what it is that you want, which is why we need to stay committed. It's not easy. I'm not sugarcoating this for you. It's fucking hard to stay committed when it feels like it's not working. But that's your job. That's the action that you need to take. Trust the process. It takes time for the universe to move those pieces around for you. Okay? And we stay committed because that's what leaders do. We stay committed for ourselves, but we also stay committed for the people that we are going to help. They need us. They're waiting for us. They just haven't found us yet. They just haven't aligned with us yet, which is why we need to stay committed. We must stay committed. Do you know? Here's the thing. The other part to staying committed is you stay committed because I want you to celebrate the fact that you are staying committed, that you have the courage to keep going even when the results aren't happening. That's something to celebrate. Like, let's just take a moment and celebrate that for a second. Okay. So drop some celebration emojis in the comments, because you know how many people are sitting in the stands thinking about starting a business, thinking about doing the thing, but they haven't even started it yet because they're too afraid. And you're out there and you're in the ring and you're fucking doing it. You're doing it. No matter what is going on, you are doing it. And that is something in itself that needs to be celebrated. That you have the courage to stay committed even during those moments. That's powerful shit. That is moving you in a very strong, powerful direction. So hold the frequency of success long. You're going to be holding that frequency of success long before success even shows up. Now, here's the caveat to this. One caveat to this point. If you are no longer feeling the passion for the thing, and you're like, I don't know if this is for me. You know, if you've committed to something and at some point during that journey, it just doesn't feel like it's for you anymore, that's a time when you may want to consider pivoting. When I started my coaching business, I started as a network marketing coach. And at one point I was like, I don't think this is what I want to do anymore. I want to be a coach, but I have so many people asking me about how I started my business and how I was doing everything. And I really love talking about strategy and business and mindset. I love having these conversations. I think I want to be a business coach. And then I made that pivot. I made that change. So there may be a time where that happens. If you're feeling the passion is dwindling for something, then yeah, sure, make a pivot, make a new decision and move in that new direction and then commit to that new direction, right? That's the only caveat that I want to share. Don't stay committed to something that you just absolutely don't feel aligned with anymore. Okay. I think that's just a given, but just to say, sometimes, we think we have to stay committed to something. If it doesn't light us up anymore and it's really not what we want to do, that's a time when you can make a pivot. And we've all pivoted, and it's okay to pivot. You can pivot and you can start just moving in the new direction. I've done it. I know there's lots of people on here who've done it as well. So I want to share that. Okay. How are you guys feeling with this? Give me some fire emojis if you're feeling fired up. If this is helpful for you, let me know in the comments. If this is getting you kind of recommitting to your business, recommitting to your goals, recommitting to doing some of that scary action. So to summarize for today, make the decision. What is it that you want? What is it you want for your business, for your life? So make those decisions, draw the hard line in the sand. This is what I'm doing no matter what. Walk into uncertainty, take those messy, scary actions, do things that challenge you, do things that scare you. You have to do those things in order to grow. You can't get to that next level doing the things that you're already doing. You're going to be a different person when you hit that next level. And that comes from you doing things that you've never done before, right? Stand out, be unique, share your voice, share your brand, share what makes you tick, share your beliefs, share all of the things about you. And if you need to, like one of the things I do with my clients is I have this document where I'm helping them sort of think about what are the things that make you unique, right? What are the things that make you different? Because sometimes we need to sit and think about that for a second because we're like in our own heads all the time. Ask your spouse, ask your friends, like ask them what things that they like about you and what makes you different, so that you can have an understanding of that and play with that. Obviously, staying committed, as we just talked about. Once you make this decision, once you start doing this, stay committed to it no matter what. Even when it feels like it's not working, stay committed. When you apply those 4 actions to your business, you are bound to make a giant quantum leap. Just by implementing these 4 moves alone, things will change for the better. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. So sharing about mindset and making moves to your quantum leap is part of what I do with my business coaches. With my coaches. As you know, I'm a business coach who helps online coaches establish their business, establish their offers, establish their visibility on social media, create demand, and attract their clients, which is why my signature program is called the Client Attractor, because why not make it easy and just say it like it is? And so that's what I do. That's what I help new coaches do. So if you are a new coach, if you are somebody who's looking for that support in the strategy side, but also in the mindset side, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to chat about what that could look like for us to work together. I do also have a free training that I'm going to drop the link in the comments for you as soon as I'm done. It's called Foundations. It is a masterclass about some of the, there's 5 foundational pillars that are essential for any online business, no matter what you do. So I'm going to give you guys that for free, and I will drop the link in there. And it's a 2-part training. So you'll get more of this inside of that training. And so that's what I have going on right now. Amy, thank you so much for having me in here. Thank you for letting me get all excited and share these points with you guys. And I hope that this was super helpful for you. I hope that this inspired you to just get out there and do the things, put the blinders on, and just keep going until. So thank you so much. Thank you, Amy. Thank you for this group. Thanks for everyone who joined live and who's on the replay. I am on Instagram if you want to chat with me at I am Shana Recker. And thanks again so much for having me, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Amy. Bye for now.